Hi there, this is Jenny Seek from Inner Voice Intuitive Counseling and Readings. Just saw my last client of the day and wanted to pop in and follow up with you guys who are new to the channel and those who have been listening. About a week and a half ago, I did a lecture, a piece about each chakra and how to know energetically when they're balanced, how to know what energy is held in each one and how to shift them, how to notice what are called shifts and lifts. And so I tried to post a video at that point with the chakra balancing meditation that I offer, and for some reason it wouldn't post. So I wanted to pop in and follow through with that and share with you guys the chakra balancing meditation work. And today I'll be balancing each chakra with you and raising the energy, moving from the place of where the chakra's unbalanced to understanding how to balance it. And I won't focus too much on what's held in each chakra, but just give like a little bit of a rundown in each one. This video will be primarily about creating the space and toning the sounds that accompany each chakra. And I offer this to you because we're coming into the week of Christmas and the other holidays, and this can be a time that is very, very fun, very celebratory, a time to get together with friends and family, but it can also be a very stressful time. So it's great to find some space, some time to slow down and shift some energy, to notice if there's anything that you're carrying that isn't of you. And a great way to do this is to clear your chakras and to tone, and that helps us to release anything that we've absorbed and to attune and align and elevate the energy on a biochemical level, so that we shift away from energetically what isn't working for us and we move into a space of new energy. And so this process of chakra balancing will help you to do just that. So I encourage you to find a place that's comfortable, a place where you won't be bothered, a nice place where you can just rest and restore the energy and where you won't be focused on anything else. And just find a place to sit that's comfortable and just breathe. Close your eyes, relax, and breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And start to notice as you breathe out that you're breathing out all of the extraneous stuff, all the unnecessary stuff, all of the stuff you've been told you should do, all of the stuff that's too much, anything that isn't helpful, to simplify and to focus on things in the here and now, on the process of what we're doing. And now notice that when you breathe in all the possibility, all of the new awarenesses that you have, all of the new ideas, anything that's helpful, anything that spurs you to a more creative, more aligned place within the self. And just find that place in the breath as you breathe in and breathe out. And you may notice that your breath is deepening a little bit as you're doing this. And so just allow for that to happen. And notice too how you can drop down, and you don't have to think so much with your mind about what it is you're doing, but instead you start to notice that the body does this naturally. The body releases anything that's extraneous and unhelpful, and the body allows us to breathe anything in new that's new and the new possibilities, and that we can do this without thinking about it very much. And so now notice this wonderful, relaxing energy starting to move its way up your toes and into the balls of your feet and into your arches and into your heels and into your ankles. And it's moving up your calves, and this wonderful, relaxing energy that's very, very invigorating, but in an easy, relaxing way, is moving up through the backs of your knees, through the fronts of your knees, moving up your thighs and into your pelvis, through your sits bones and up through your sides, up through your hips, and all the way up through your diaphragm, releasing anything that's tight, anything that is not comfortable for you, just releasing anything up through that diaphragm, up through the middle of that belly, up through your thoracic cavity, up through your sternum, up through your lungs, up through your chest, and up out through your shoulders. And this wonderful relaxing energy is starting to move down your shoulders, to your arms, to your elbows, to your forearms. It's moving around your wrists, circulating around there, releasing anything tight, anything constricted there, moving into the palms of the hands, the backs of the hands, through the palms, down through the knuckles of the hands, through each fingertip, and through the thumb. This wonderful, relaxing, yet invigorating energy. Try to find the balance between those two places. So it just feels more like the energy of you when you feel really, really good and really, really relaxed and really at peace. And now notice this wonderful, relaxing energy starting to move up through your neck, up through your jawline. Allow yourself to drop your jaw a little bit, release anything that might be tense there. And now this wonderful relaxing energy starts moving up through your face, up through your nasal passages, around your occipital lobes, around your eyes, moving down your ears, releasing anything tight there, moving out the top of the head, out around the back of the head and out the top of the head. And now just imagine this wonderful relaxing energy like a beautiful, brilliant beam of light. And just notice how high above your head this energy goes, how high. And now just imagine that it's like a pencil of light. And that it starts at the very top of your head, and then it moves out to the right hand side. Notice how far out to the right hand side this energy moves. Now it moves under your feet. Just imagine it moving down below your feet, down below the earth. Notice how far down below the earth it moves. Now notice it moving out to the left hand side. Notice how far to the left hand side it moves. And now it comes back up to meet itself, so that you're in this beautiful, energetic bubble of light. And notice what it feels like to be inside there. Imagine that it feels different inside that bubble than it does outside in the everyday world. And notice if there's anything that makes you feel different inside your bubble, that makes you feel more comforted or more supported, or just notice what it is you do feel. Notice if there are any colors there. Notice if there's any different sensation there. And now just notice that this auric bubble, we'll call it our auric bubble, expands and contracts very similarly to the breath, and that you take it with you wherever you go, and that when you're aware of it, you can expand it. If you've had a big, hard day and you feel overwhelmed, you can imagine expanding the sides of that bubble so that you have more space inside, more solitude and more peace, and you feel more distant and more comforted in your own energetic space. And that when you feel really, really comfortable, really seen, really aware, and really creative in yourself, you can contract the energy of that bubble. And it can get smaller and smaller, so you literally feel closer to the people in your world who you feel comforted by. And notice that just like the breath expands and contracts, that energetic bubble does as well, and that it knows how to do that. It knows how to create space inside there for when you need some space inside your world, and that it knows how to contract as well, and how to create more connection with the people around you, if you will. So now we're just going to take that breath and we're going to imagine breathing out and in. And we're going to focus on that first chakra there below our sits bones, right between our legs. The color there is red. And the tone there is Lam. And when at the end of the day or at the end of something stressful that we've experienced, we check in with that energy. Sometimes we feel unsafe or disconnected or like we're starting to isolate in that space, or like it's hard for us to know who we want to connect with. And that's how we know that energy is unbalanced in that space. But as we create balance, we start to move to this place where we feel just much more safe, much more comfortable, much more confident taking up space in our life, much more connected with who our tribe is, who we are innately connected with and comfortable with in our environment. And we feel much more grounded in our space. So the tone here is Lam, and we're going to tone it. And we're going to tone it 9 times today. 9 is the number that has to do with the connection of connecting with humanity on a larger level. It's Jung's individuation process, which is all about moving out from beyond the self and connecting with the larger universal spirit. So we'll tone this 9 times, and I'll focus on the number, so you don't need to do that. So just allow yourself to notice what I call the shifts and lifts in this space as you clear and amplify this beautiful, beautiful red energy. And if you don't see it as red, that's fine. If you're new to this, you may, folks who are new to this are really regulating that energy and psyche. So it doesn't kind of know the settings and the spaces yet. So don't worry about that at all. Just notice what it is you do feel and move from the place where the energy is elevating and expanding and feeling better and brighter. And imagine the energy of the color red, even if you don't see it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now we're moving up to the second chakra. This is the sacral chakra. And I need to just let you know, you can tone this as well. I forgot to say that. You'll benefit from hearing the tone, but you can tone it as well. And sometimes amplifying it yourself really balances the energy in a much more core kind of a way, so you can really, really feel it shift on a larger way. But if you just want to listen to me, that's fine as well, either way. So the second chakra is our sacral chakra, and the color there is orange, and the tone is Vam. And when this chakra is unbalanced, when we've gone through too much that isn't right for us, sometimes, and in our lives in an energetic way, maybe not just with the day, but compounding in terms of our lives. Sometimes we automatically go into this fight or flight place quicker in ourselves. And it's harder for us to hold the energy of joy and the energy of tolerance and the energy of curiosity in our world, which is our divine birthright, this playfulness energy. But sometimes as we become adults and we have too much stuff compounded, we move into this place where we tighten up the energy around our 5 senses, which is the center, the emotional center of the second chakra. And when we do that, we want to have something happen that's positive. And maybe we're afraid it won't come out that way. And so we tighten up. We don't allow ourselves to connect with those 5 senses and amplify that energy. We're too much focused on outcome and less focused on the process, less focused on feeling all of our emotions. We don't allow ourselves to slow down. But as we amplify this energy in ourselves, we feel more connected to joy in day-to-day living. We feel more connected to playfulness, and we open up the capacity of feeling all of our emotions instead of judging some of them as helpful and some of them as unhelpful in this more speedy way. So I invite you to connect with this energy, this second chakra, sacral chakra energy, as we tone VUM together. It's just a little higher on our stair steps than our first chakra. And so we're going to tone that now. VUM. Wonderful. Now we're going to move up to the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra. And this is right there, right where our diaphragm is, actually right above our diaphragm. And the color here is yellow, and the tone is rum. And this place Gary Zukov in his book, The Seat of the Soul, has called The Seat of the Soul. And this is the place where we move from our secondary connection with our will to our primary connection. We're taught in our culture very often to try to make other people happy, try to get our energy of empowerment through pleasing other people in our world. But as we amplify this energy in ourselves, as we recognize how to empower ourselves, we are more connected with the divine energy of our authentic self. We're more connected with that space where we realize that when we give to ourselves, it's a more direct way to empower ourselves, so that then we don't feel frustrated or like we're trying to get something from someone else outside of ourselves, from another source. And we allow ourselves to just allow things to be in the world, just the way they are, to allow people to find us, to not try to, construct things or make things happen, but to just allow and feel the energy of us doing the work that we need to do in the world, and that amplifies our authentic self. The tone here is rum, and the color is yellow, and we'll amplify the energy together. Rum. Wonderful. Now we're moving up to the heart chakra, and that's between the two breastbones. The color here is green, and the tone is yum. And sometimes if we feel burdened, at the end of our day or when we've had a particularly stressful time, the energy here can feel constricted. Our heart can feel constricted. It can feel like we don't allow love into that center, or we can bargain with it and imagine that there isn't enough, that there's only enough for us, or that there's not enough for other people, that love in our life is scarce. But when we refuel that energy and we rebalance that chakra and clear that energy, we notice that that energy can be amplified by anything in our world, as each one of these energies can be amplified by just setting our intention and actually amplifying that energy, and that it isn't hard to do. It's very, very simple. And then we feel reconnected to the energy of love in our life, reconnected to the ability to give love and receive love, and not worried about it being scarce or being limited or constricted. So I invite you to check into that space in your heart and amplify that energy with me, elevate and expand that energy as we tone Yum. 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 Wonderful. Now we're going to move up to the sixth chakra. And the fifth chakra. The fifth chakra is here in the throat, right about here. And the color here is a blue or a teal. Any color blue that you see on the spectrum is what you're working towards seeing. And you'll know that the energy is regulated there in that space when you do see it. And the tone here is hum. And sometimes when this place is what I'll call shy, or is not amplified, is not clear, if you will, we can feel uncreative in our life, or we can feel like we're not allowed to ask for what we need in our lives. We're not allowed to listen to what we need and hear ourselves, and we're not allowed to verbalize what we need. So we can get kind of quiet in this space. Sometimes we can get a sore throat here. We can feel like we have something in our throat. And that means on some level we're not listening to ourselves, or we're not allowing ourselves to be heard in the world. But as we connect more clearly with this energy, we start to feel more creative. That way of doing our morning or doing our day, we're not willing to just set aside. We really hold that dear, that art in our life, that way that we need to do things to offer more creativity to ourselves. And it's easier for us to ask for what we want in the world, and it's easier for us to hear what we need from ourselves in the world. So the tone here is hum, and we'll tone it together as we amplify and expand and clear this energy. And you'll know that it's expanding because you'll feel this energy of creativity surface in you, and you'll feel this energy amplify around listening to your creative self and feeling that it's okay for you to ask for what you need in the world. Hum, 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 hum. Wonderful. Now we're going to connect with the sixth chakra energy. I like to think of this energy as a bridge, and it's lavender or lilac, wherever you see it. And this bridge is an intuitive bridge from the imagination to manifestation, which then may connect with your third chakra, that place of the will again. If it doesn't, that's okay. If it does, that's okay. But there is a correlation. There's a correlation between each one of the chakras. So if you notice these colors in tandem, you can check in and ask your intuition what that might be about. I encourage you that if you want to do that, to go back to the first video on Inner Voice Intuitive on the site and check out what each one of the chakras means so that you can get that intuitive amplification more clearly. But I like to think of this chakra as a bridge, and on this bridge we start with the imagination, right? Anything in the imagination helps us connect with the intuition, helps us connect with what inspires us, what leads us to a place of intention setting. And I like to think of it as a quickening of the energy on this bridge. So we start with the imagination, and then something in that imaginative, creative flow connects us with our intuition. Something is figure and something is ground. Something pops out from the background. Something sticks. That thing that sticks is what our intuition is telling us to pay attention to. And then we can set intention around seeing more of that thing, seeing signs, seeing symbols, having resonances and awarenesses. As we bring that, whatever it is, whatever quality, whatever thing we want to bring into closer into our lives, to shift the energy as we set our intention and we move from seeing it in our mind's eye to actually materializing it in our world by shifting the energy. And that's the quickening process of this bridge. And the tone here is Om. And I invite you to amplify and clear and elevate and align the energy there in that space. Now I invite you to connect with the 7th chakra. The 7th chakra is there in the top of your head. And the color here I often see as a golden or a white, or sometimes it looks like everything is just illuminated and kind of crystalline around the energy inside your mind's eye. And when this energy is shy, or when we've really had a struggle with the energy of connecting to source, sometimes we feel disconnected. We feel like it isn't okay for us to connect with source energy, or we feel disconnected from spirit, disconnected from source. There are a lot of illusions about the idea that we have to do something really special to be connected to source energy, to be connected to natural energy and to the divine, if you will. But when we amplify this energy and clear it and create space for it, we realize that that's an illusion, and we move into the place where we're ready to receive a connection with the divine, a connection with the numinous, a connection with the universal, which has our back all of the time in so many ways. So the sound here is the sound of silence. It's a great place to just check in and notice if there were any body shifts for you, if there were any messages. Sometimes there's messages from guides, or there's little animal energies that have messages or just shifts for us, things for us to notice. And you want to be super aware of that, because this process is all about connecting with the subtleties that are the divine spirit of you. So let's connect there in that space and hold that space for a moment. And now I invite you to just say gratitude for your practice, gratitude for the work you did here in this time, anything you've noticed or anything you've noticed that you need to work on, any space you need to clear, any chakra that kind of, sometimes with clients I see a place where the client could stay there forever, or a place where the client isn't comfortable. All of those things are evidence of spirit, evidence of where you're balancing and realigning the energies in the self. So I invite you to notice anything that you notice, any messages that you get, any shifts and lifts. But mainly this is just the time to say gratitude for the practice that you're starting to create in yourself. And I encourage you to notice that you can go to this place at any time in spirit. Anytime you want to, you can check in and you can tone these energies. So I hope you've enjoyed this practice. I hope it can help you in the coming days and coming weeks, and it can help you over the holidays or anytime when you're stressed or need to renew your spirit. I do offer these sessions individually, and that's where we can look at on a one-to-one basis on what's going on with you, and we can work very closely and kind of track the energies forward and shift big pieces in your life. So if you'd like to do work with me, definitely check out my website, Inner Voice Intuitive, and schedule a session, or get in touch with me here. Feel free to share anything that you've experienced during this meditation below. Just share your comment. I'd love to know what your experience has been, any other ways or variations that you do this work, and how you renew your spirit, especially in times of stress. And I thank you so much for letting me connect in this way. It's an honor to work with each one of you, and I hope that this has touched your spirit and sent you what you need. Take care. Bye now.